Welcome back to Legion Builds, where we help you bring your favorite characters into games of Dungeons & Dragons. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to our channel and check out our Patreon. Vote in weekly polls to help us decide video releases and receive character sheets of our builds. In honor of the new Witchlight book, we are building everyone's favorite anthropomorphic warrior rabbit, Bucky O'Hare. Sorry, wrong script. By the way, we're building Bucky O'Hare in the future. Why are we building a short-lived 90s cartoon/toy line? Because my name is Gonzo. This should give you a clue to my mental state. Moving on. Today we are building Miyamoto Usagi, better known as Usagi Yojimbo. Usagi was created by cartoonist Stan Sakai in 1984 and is heavily influenced by 1960s Japanese cinema. Probably why he is actually a pretty awesome character. He is also a homage to legendary samurai warrior Miyamoto Musashi, author of the Book of Five Rings. Yet another reason why he's awesome. So right now he's got like 2 points towards being the coolest character in history. Oh wait, 3 points. He was on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He is officially the coolest character in history. Usagi is a samurai warrior without equal and a master of the sword. And those are today's goals. Pretty simple, but awesome. Let's go. We're using standard point array and we will be multi-classing, so keep minimums in mind if you roll for stats. Make strength 10, dexterity 14, con 12, intelligence 13, wisdom 15, and charisma 8. I don't like that charisma's low, but we'll fix it in a minute. Hare and Gon are rabbit folk, and Usagi is a rabbit. Place +2 in charisma and +1 into wisdom. Leperine's senses gives you the skill perception. Use those big ears wisely. Get it? Wisely? Perception uses wisdom. Yeah, I know, I'm not funny. You want entertainment and smart builds, go watch Tulok. He's just like me, but way better. Hare Trigger lets you add your proficiency bonus to your initiative rolls. Lucky Footwork lets you add a D4 to any failed dex save. This does not work if you are prone or have your speed reduced to 0. Rabbit Hop lets you, as a bonus action, jump a number of feet equal to 5 times your proficiency bonus, and you do not provoke tax of opportunity with this. You can do this a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. For background, take Soldier for athletics and intimidation. This build is going to be fast, easy, and simple. Starting off with Fighter, take Acrobatics and Survival as skills. For weapons, take a longsword and a scimitar and reflavor them into his Katana, Yagi no Eda, and his Wakizashi, Aoyagi. Yeah, I know the names of his swords. Level 1 fighters gain a fighting style. Great weapon fighting lets you reroll damage dice of 1 or 2 when wielding a weapon with 2 hands. Second Wind lets you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action. Level 2 fighters get Action Surge, letting you take an additional action for free. Level 3 fighters receive their subclass. Samurai are warriors who push themselves with unshakable resolve and unstoppable fighting spirit. When you take this subclass, you receive an additional skill. I would suggest either Insight or Persuasion. Fighting Spirit lets you, as a bonus action, give yourself advantage on your next attack and give yourself temporary hit points. This starts out at 5 but will go up later. You can use this feature a total of 3 times between long rests. Level 4 fighters get our first ability score improvement. Place this into Dex. Level 5 fighters get extra attack, letting you make 2 attack actions with a single action. Okay, you've trained as a samurai, but you have lost Lord Mifune. It's time to become a wanderer and take up your warrior's pilgrimage. Level 1 monks get Unarmored Defense. This lets you add your wisdom to your AC, meaning your AC is now 10 plus your dexterity modifier plus your wisdom. Right now your AC is 16 and we'll be taking that up a little bit. Martial Arts makes your unarmed attacks 1d4. You can now use your dex or strength for attacks and damage with your unarmed or monk weapon attacks, and it lets you make a bonus attack that is unarmed when you aren't wielding a weapon in it. Bad news though, your Katana and Wakizashi are not monk weapons. For now. Level 2 monks get dedicated weapon. When you finish a short or long rest, you can turn a simple or martial weapon into a monk weapon, as long as it does not have the special or heavy properties. Your Katana is now a monk weapon and can now use your much better dex modifier. Your Wakizashi already uses the dex modifier, so we don't need to turn it into a monk weapon yet. We will later on though. Unarmored movement increases your movement speed when not wearing armor, making your movement now 40 feet. Ki is an internal energy you can use to empower yourself. By spending ki points, you can now do different things. Flurry of Blows lets you make 2 unarmed attacks with a single bonus action. Step of the Wind lets you take dash and disengage as a bonus action and doubles your long jump distance. Patient Defense lets you take dodge as a bonus action. Level 3 monks receive Deflect Missiles. This lets you reduce damage done by projectiles 1d10 plus your dex plus your monk level. Moreover, if you are wielding no weapon in either hand and reduce the damage to 0, you can catch the projectiles and yeet them back. Heads up, there's a good chance you will not have a free hand for the entirety of this build, but you know what? Go Jedi and knock some shots out of the air with your blades. You also get your subclass. Kensei monks are weapons specialists. As I write this is the 4th Kensei monk build that I have mixed with a fighter, but the 7th that I've made with all my builds. They'll be coming out over time. We got one out right now with Ash Williams. Kensei weapons let you turn any weapon into a Kensei weapon as long as it lacks the heavy or special properties. This is a monk weapon that receives bonuses down the line. Right now you can choose 2, a melee and a ranged weapon. Choose your Katana and a longbow. Agile Parry lets you add 2+ to your AC by not attacking with your Kensei weapon while holding it, but hitting with an unarmed strike. Kensei Shot lets you use a bonus action to make your ranged Kensei attacks hit harder, adding a d4 to the damage. Level 4 monks get Slow Fall. This lets you reduce fall damage by 5 times your monk level. You also get an ability score improvement. Put another +2 into your dex. Level 5 monks get Stunning Strike. This lets you spend 1 ki point to stun a creature after hitting them with a weapon attack and forcing a con save. Your martial arts dice is also now a d6. Level 6 monks get Ki Empowered Strikes, making your unarmed strikes magical. Magical Kensei weapons makes your Kensei weapons magical, and you get a 3rd Kensei weapon. Choose your Wakizashi. Deft Strike lets you add a martial arts dice 2 damage by spending a ki point once per turn, meaning your Katana can now do 1d8 plus 1d6 plus 4 on a single attack, then attack again for a 1d8 plus 4. Finally, your unarmored movement moves up 15 feet. Level 7 monks receive Evasion. Now, when you see what is forcing a dex save onto you, you will receive no damage on a success and only half on a failure. Stillness of Mind lets you end a charmed or frightened effect on yourself with an action. Level 6 fighters receive another ability score improvement, but we need a feat. It's time for you to start fighting like your namesake. First, we're going to be using Martial Versatility, which whenever you get a ability score adjustment in a level of fighter, you can switch your fighting style. We need to switch your fighting style from Great Weapon to 2-weapon fighting. This lets you add your damage modifier to your offhand weapon. If you want, take this instead of Great Weapon fighting at level 1, but you won't get the bonuses for it very quickly. Now, for your feat, take Dual Wield. This allows several things to happen now. Firstly, you can now draw 2 weapons with a single action. Secondly, you can now wield 2 weapons that aren't light. Before we finish this feat, let's discuss this real quick. When wielding 2 weapons, both weapons must have the light property, and you can only draw one weapon with a single action. That means you cannot dual wield a katana and a wakizashi, because only the wakizashi is a light weapon. But now you can do that. Dual wielding weapons also does not allow your damage modifier to be added to the offhand unless you have two-weapon fighting. Most people get dual wield and two-weapon fighting confused. It's okay. The last thing that dual wield does is the most important thing. It adds +1 to your AC when you're wielding two weapons. Right now your AC is 17 or 18 with two weapons. Level 7 fighters of the Samurai subclass receive Elegant Courtier. This lets you add your Wisdom modifier to any persuasion checks. You also now have proficiency in Wisdom saves, which, in all honesty, that's the save most spells cause, so this is very good. Level 8 fighters get another ability score improvement. Bump up your Wisdom, bringing your AC to 18 or 19 with two weapons. Level 9 fighters get Indomitable. You can now re-roll failed saves once per long rest. Level 10 fighters of the Samurai subclass receive Tireless Spirit. Now, when you roll initiative and have no uses of fighting spirits left, you regain one. Level 11 fighters now get another extra attack. You can now attack 3 times with a normal attack, 6 times with an action surge, and 1 time with a bonus action to both of those. Level 12 fighters get our final ability score improvement. Now, you have a choice with this one. You can either cap off your dex for better damage, AC, and initiative, cap off your wisdom for better perception and AC, or take a feat. Alert gives you 5+ to initiative. You can't be surprised, and unseen creatures cannot have advantage against you. With Alert, your initiative will now be a +15. If you cap off your dex instead, it will be a +11. This is completely up to you. I suggest taking the Alert feat. Our final level is level 13 fighter, where we get a second use of Indomitable. Alright, let's take a look at this build. You are a fast rabbit with a movement of 45 and a bonus jump of 30 feet. You are also dangerous with or without your weapons, dealing +4 magical damage to both. With your weapon attacks, you're dealing 4 times with your bonus action, 7 times with action surge and bonus action. Without weapons, you have 5 attacks normal, 8 attacks with action surge. Your passive perception is 20. Your initiative, if you took Alert, is +15. And finally, your AC is 18 or 19 wielding 2 weapons. Downside: Samurai is a pretty subtle subclass that tries to balance roleplay and combat. Switching from combat-based features to charisma-based features means you have to write out the whole subclass to fully utilize it. And you didn't. Your charisma is also low for any charisma-based features. Champion would have leveled up much better than Samurai, but Samurai also really feels better for Usagi. Also, Step of the Wind would actually move you further with your movement than your movement and your jump, but your jump doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. Regardless of faults, you are a beast in combat and should not be looked over by any enemy. Utilize your jump to rush past enemies and start laying in attacks using Fighting Spirit and Action Surge to become a whirlwind of blades. Then move out the next turn by jumping away again. Thank you for joining us, and remember to leave a like and subscribe. We release a new video every Monday, and over on Patreon we have weekly polls to decide our next builds.